Welcome back to Inglés 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Advanced. Welcome to the advanced portion of class number 130. And as always, we'll get started with a little review of yesterday's material, yesterday being class number 129. I recommend that we review it. Yeah. Well, everyone recommends, all teachers recommend that we review things. It's important to review, right? So we're going to start with a review, and yes, recommend that. Subject infinitive is what is the point we're going to practice here. I recommend that you be on time. Yes, I recommend that you study as much as possible. So I recommend that subject infinitive, which sometimes maybe sounds a little bit strange to you, but that's the way it is. So I recommend that you practice this form. So let me give you an example using should, and I'd like you to change to I recommend that you infinitive. Okay? So, I think you should work harder. I recommend that you work harder. I recommend that you work harder. They should drive as long as the car is available. I recommend that they drive as long as the car is available. He should call his mother more often. You can say, I recommend that he call his mother more often. I recommend that he call his mother more often. She should prepare more food next time. I recommend that she prepare more food next time. All right, so do you recommend that we move on and practice with our translation list? Yes, Kyle, I recommend that you move on and practice with our translation list. Okay, let's do it. Translation. All right, it is time now for translation list number 43. So we'll review the translation list. So I want to practice this. I will read the sentences in Spanish, and I'd like you to answer out loud, as always. All right, number 1. El conductor no llevaba cinturón. The driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt. The driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Number 2. ¿Quién se queda con el bebé cuando vas de compras? Who stays with the baby when you go shopping? So who stays with the baby? Here, who representing the subject here, so we don't need the auxiliary verb. Who stays with the baby when you go shopping? Number 3. Ellos son la clave de mi éxito. Ellos son la clave de mi éxito. They're the key to my success. So interesting. They're the keys, but they are the key to my success. Together, all those workers, they are the key to my success. We're successful because of them. They are the key to my success. Number 4. Pronto se desanimarán y perderán eficacia. They'll soon get discouraged. They'll soon get discouraged and lose effectiveness. They'll soon get discouraged. Yes, they'll get discouraged and lose effectiveness. They'll be less effective. They'll lose effectiveness. Number 5. Tardé un año en dominar el tema. It took me a year to master the subject. It took me a year to master the subject. Yeah, it took me a year to master the subject. Number 6. ¿Te das cuenta de lo rico que eres? ¿Te das cuenta? Do you realize how rich you are? Do you realize how rich you are? ¿Te das cuenta? Do you realize? Do you realize how rich you are? Number 7. Él está muy por delante de sus compañeros de clase. He's way ahead of his classmates. So he's ahead of his classmates, por delante, but muy por delante, way ahead. He's way ahead of his classmates. He's way ahead of his classmates. Number 8. Estás perdiendo tu toque mágico. Tu toque mágico. You're losing your magic touch. Yeah, you're losing your magic touch. Number 9. Te costará trabajo entenderles. You'll have trouble understanding them. You'll have trouble understanding them. Yes. Te costará trabajo entenderles. You'll have trouble understanding them. Did you have trouble understanding my accent back in the first program? Did you have trouble understanding me? So to have trouble understanding. To have trouble is followed by the gerund. Yeah. I have trouble seeing the difference. I have trouble speaking Spanish. I have trouble speaking German. I have trouble flying an airplane, right? To have trouble, costar trabajo. To have trouble plus gerund, okay? You'll have trouble understanding them. Number 10. No quiero, pero no me queda más remedio. I don't want to, but I have no choice. I have no choice. No tengo más remedio. I have no choice. I don't want to, but I have no choice. Number 11. No me gusta pedirles trabajo a amigos. I don't like asking friends for a job. For a job. I don't like asking friends for a job. That's true, I don't. Number 12. Iba a ser una fiesta sorpresa. Iba a ser. Ah, yes. It was going to be. Iba a ser. It was going to be una fiesta sorpresa. A surprise party. It was going to be a surprise party. Iba a ser una fiesta sorpresa. It was going to be a surprise party. Yeah. She found out about it. It was going to be a surprise party. All right, good. So, a little review of yesterday's translation list. I hope you did okay. I hope you did all right with this. Let's move on now and take a look at our expression of the day. Expression of the day. All right, it is time now for the expression of the day. The expression of the day today is a walk in the park. A walk in the park. Now, if something is a walk in the park, it's easy. Speaking Spanish, I'm sure for you, is a walk in the park. Yeah, it's a walk in the park. For some football teams, to beat another team is just a walk in the park. If one team is bad and the other team is exceptional, they're very, very good, and they win easily, we could say, oh, it was a walk in the park for them. Winning that match was a walk in the park. It was very easy because walking in the park is very easy. It's not hard to do. So if something is a walk in the park, it means it's easy. Is English a walk in the park for you? Yes? Oh, because if it's a walk in the park, then why are you listening to the show? I'm here to help you. I'm here to make English become a walk in the park for you. I'm sure speaking Spanish is a walk in the park for you, but speaking English, probably a bit more difficult. Speaking Spanish is not a walk in the park for me. Speaking English is a walk in the park for me because I'm used to it. I've been doing it all my life. It's a walk in the park for me. It's easy. Okay? So there we go with our expression of the day, a walk in the park. Now, as we move into class number 130, we see the expression to make a mess of something. To make a mess of something. Okay? So, to have something que sale muy mal. Something turns out bad because we've made a mess of it. To make a mess of something. Have you ever made a mess of a recipe? Have you ever made a mess of a recipe? Yes, I've made a mess of a recipe. It didn't turn out well at all. It was terrible. I made a mess of it. I made a mess of that recipe. So to make a mess of it. Did you make a mess of the dinner last night? That dinner party? You're preparing dinner for those people. Did you make a mess of it? Yeah, I made a mess of it. I ruined it. Okay. That's unfortunate. So imagine if there was a party and someone showed up and they started a fight. They got drunk and they started a fight and they caused a lot of problems. They made a mess of the party. They made a mess of it. Yeah, I hate it when people make a mess of things. We all make a mess of things, you know. Things don't turn out well. They turn out bad. We make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes we make a mess of things. So to make a mess of something is the structure here. Okay, so next, well, we have two things to do. We have to talk about the use of the word that, but before that, let's take a look at our vocabulary of the day. Vocabulary of the day. All right, it is time for the vocabulary of the day. Our 5 words of vocabulary. The first word today, decepción. We say disappointment. We don't say deception. We say disappointment. I was disappointed. So to be disappointed. So an adjective and the verb to disappoint. And then the noun, a disappointment. The football match was a disappointment. My team, they made a mess of it. They made a mess of it. It was supposed to be a walk in the park, but they made a mess of it, and I'm disappointed. It was such a disappointment. So there we go. Using the last structure to make a mess of something. The expression of the day, it was supposed to be a walk in the park. They should win the easy matches like that. But they lost. They made a mess of it, and they lost. And it was a disappointment for all the fans. Dividendos. Number 2, dividendos. We say in English, dividends. Very easy, dividends. So companies on the stock market can pay dividends to the shareholders, to the investors. Dividends. Dudoso. Dudoso. In English, we say doubtful. Doubtful. Dudoso, doubtful. Águila. Águila. Ah, yes. Eagle. 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 Very good. Semana Santa. Oh, yeah. Good. Very nice. Semana Santa. Easter. Easter, of course. I'm looking forward to a few days off for Easter. I like having a few days off for Easter. It's nice, isn't it? Easter, yeah. All right. Now, as we move into the last part of the class, we can talk about the use of the word that. There are sentences in English where we can use the word that, or we can omit it. So we can omit it in cases where we have a noun followed by a subject and verb. we can omit the word that. I saw a movie. The movie was in Chinese. So the movie I saw was in Chinese. Or the movie that I saw was in Chinese. Or she bought a dress. The dress was pink. The dress she bought was pink. Or the dress that she bought was pink. You can say it either way. Okay? But there are cases when we have to use that, when we have the noun followed by a verb without subject. The house that is next to the river is blue. The house that, which house? Oh, the one that is next to the river. The one that is next to the river is blue. The house that is next to the river is blue. In this case, we need the word that. Okay? So, I bought a car. The car was secondhand. I bought a car. The car was secondhand. You could say the car I bought was secondhand without that. Or, of course, you can include it. The car that I bought was secondhand. The book is on the table. The book is blue. The book that is on the table is blue. Yeah, the book that is on the table is blue. The dog is under the table. The dog is fat. The dog that is under the table is fat. We saw a movie yesterday. The movie was boring. The movie we saw was boring. Or, of course, the movie that we saw was boring. All right, we're all out of time. I want to thank you very much for listening to the program today, but this last point, maybe it seems a little bit tricky, but there are many cases in which we can omit the word that, and we can say it either way, okay? But we'll practice this tomorrow. We'll review this, and lots of new material and a new translation list. I do hope you'll join me. See you soon. Bye-bye.